Professor Tribe, I've been very eager to hear your reaction to this, and so I just really want to open your microphone. I wouldn't presume to try to frame a question for you on a night like this. Having read this indictment, please just share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Lawrence. My thoughts ranged from profound disappointment that our country could ever have elected as its leader someone with so little concern for the safety of Americans, the sanctity of our national security, and the sources of nuclear and other military information. So there was profound sadness. There was also a sense of vindication for the rule of law, and a sense that finally accountability might meet this man who has gotten away with so much. You know, when he declared his candidacy for president in March, I think it's clear he was calculating that a cautious Merrick Garland would treat that as a reason to step back. But instead, Merrick Garland stepped forward and named a very aggressive special counsel, independent of him. That's how Jack Smith entered the case 6.5 months ago. Had the President of the United States at the time of these acts, had the President not made those calculations, we might not be here tonight. It might be that Merrick Garland would not have succeeded in doing what Jack Smith has done. What he has done is put together an absolutely devastating demonstration out of the president's own mouth and out of the mouths of his own lawyers, with an attorney-client privilege that was pierced precisely because he was using his lawyers to commit crimes. And Beryl Howell, the judge who had to pierce that attorney-client privilege, saw clear evidence of that. On the basis of all of that, we have a multi-count indictment of espionage of the most serious sort, coupled with obstruction, conspiracy to obstruct, lying to the government. All of those are serious crimes. All of them are punishable by years in prison. If it were anyone other than Donald Trump, the trial would have occurred already. What I now worry about is that with Judge Eileen Cannon, if she ends up presiding over the trial, there may be all kinds of ways for justice to be delayed and ultimately, therefore, denied. Now, call me Panglossian, call me a glass half full kind of guy, but I think that even Judge Cannon, even if she hadn't been chastised by the unanimous reversals twice by a very conservative Court of Appeals, when she reads this indictment, as I'm sure she will before the arraignment, even she, for all of her gratitude for having been named to the bench by Donald Trump, even she might have a jaw-dropping moment. Is this the man who put me on the bench? Maybe even she will see the importance for the nation whose constitution she is sworn to uphold, the importance for the nation and the Constitution and the rule of law and the survival of democracy of moving this trial along with expedition, with full fairness, of course, to the defendant. Fully respecting, as Jack Smith rightly emphasized, that he is presumed innocent, but not indulging, merely delaying tactics so that whoever becomes president, if it is not a Democrat, might simply pardon Donald Trump or drop the charges, and he might try to pardon himself. If this trial is pushed into the time when the election is underway, the country will be riven. What I am hoping is that if this trial is slowed down by Eileen Cannon, then Jack Smith, who is pursuing an even more serious crime, an attempted coup and an insurrection against the government of the United States will move that case to indictment in Washington, D.C., before Fani Willis moves her case in Georgia. So from all corners, the rule of law seems to be enveloping a man who never seemed to believe really that the law applied to him. A man who believed that it all belonged to him. It was my boxes, my secrets. I think the rule of law will be vindicated in the end. And I do hope that Eileen Cannon, if she is to preside over this trial, and I do think an effort might be made, though it will be uphill, to get her to recuse herself or to get the 11th Circuit to remove her. But if she has this case, let's hope that her commitment to the Constitution is stronger than her gratitude for the man who put her there.
Professor Tribe, we now have seen two things since Jack Smith has taken over this work. We have seen his written work, his 49 pages of written work that he turned in today. And we saw just that couple of minutes that he spoke today. Those are the only two things we've gotten from Jack Smith publicly in these 6.5 months. How would you grade what you have seen from Jack Smith as of tonight?
I wouldn't presume to grade him. One of the lovely things that happens when you take emeritus status is you no longer have to evaluate. He certainly performed superbly. He was concise, he was clear, and the message he gave was just read the indictment. I'm naive enough to believe that even a lot of people who just love Donald Trump, when they read this indictment, will say, he was willing to endanger me and my family. He was willing to endanger American spies abroad. He was willing to endanger our national security secrets. No such person should ever hold this kind of power again. That's what I hope will happen if everyone reads it. And it's an easy read. It's breezy. It's like a short story. It's very effective. It reads quickly. I do hope everyone reads it. And I hope in particular, those people who spoke about it before reading it will finally read it and figure out what it is that they're talking about.
Harvard Law Professor Laurence Tribe, thank you very much for joining our discussion tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you.